Today, we're diving into a pretty wild idea. What if you could basically get a third of your life back just by sleeping less? We're going to explore the world of hacking sleep.
I mean, just think about that for a second. What would you do with an extra 5, 6, maybe even 7 hours every single day? It sounds like something out of a sci-fi movie, but for some people, these natural short sleepers, it's just how they're genetically wired. They can actually thrive on just a few hours a night. So that gets you thinking, right? Could the rest of us learn to do that too?
And that question, well, that leads us straight to the incredible promise of hacking our sleep. The appeal is so obvious. More time for work, for your hobbies, for family, just more time for life. It feels like the ultimate productivity hack. So the basic idea behind all of this completely flips our normal 8-hour night on its head. Instead of one long snooze, you break your sleep up into several short, strategic naps spread all throughout the day and night. This whole concept is called polyphasic sleep.
Okay, so how in the world does this actually work in practice? Let's break down the different ways people are trying to completely redefine their nights.
Right, so here's the key thing to get. Most of us are what you'd call monophasic sleepers. We sleep once a day. You've probably heard of biphasic sleep too. That's a long night's sleep plus an afternoon siesta. While polyphasic sleep just takes that idea to the absolute extreme with a whole bunch of sleep periods.
Okay, and this is where it gets really nuts. Look at how radical some of these schedules are. You've got the everyman schedule, which is kind of the entry-level version, with a shorter core sleep and a few naps. But then you get to the extremes. The Uberman schedule, 6 20-minute naps for a grand total of just 2 hours of sleep a day. Same with Dymaxion, 4 30-minute naps. Think about that. No night of sleep at all.
I know what you're thinking. This sounds incredibly intense. So why on earth would anyone even attempt this? Let's actually look at it from a real person's perspective.
This is where we meet someone who's actually putting this stuff into practice. A 25-year-old medical student, facing that insane pressure of final exams. They turn to polyphasic sleep not as some new lifestyle, but really as a tool to just survive one of the most demanding times of their life.
And this quote, it really gets to the heart of why someone would do this. It's not about giving up sleep forever. For this student, it was a temporary tactic, a way to claw back more study time when the stakes were just ridiculously high. It's a coping mechanism for an extraordinary situation.
And they learned a few things along the way, offering some really practical, hard-won advice. Simple stuff that makes all the difference. Drink a lot of water, don't eat too late, and you have to be super careful with caffeine. 2 coffees might be okay, but a third could completely throw off the whole delicate schedule.
So, okay, that's a really compelling personal story. But what happens when we zoom out and look at the actual science? What is the true cost of doing this to your body?
And this is where that exciting promise kind of runs into a brick wall of reality. Because when major organizations like the National Sleep Foundation get all the experts together to review the evidence, the picture they paint is very, very different from that dream of endless productivity. It's a classic promise versus reality situation, isn't it? On one side, you're promised more waking hours, a way to hack your biology. But what the science consistently finds is pretty much the opposite. Instead of peak performance, studies show your body just can't recover properly, you get sick more often, you experience more stress and emotional issues, and your overall physical and mental performance actually goes down.
But, it's not totally black and white. The research is also pretty clear that the danger isn't the same for all of these schedules. The level of risk is tied directly to just how extreme the sleep reduction is.
And you can really see that difference here. That milder, everyman schedule, yeah, it still comes with some performance issues, but it's way less harmful. The science is crystal clear, though, that those extreme schedules, Uberman and Dymaxion, they have the most pronounced negative effects. To put it simply, they're playing in a very high-risk zone.
So if drastically cutting our sleep isn't the magic bullet, then what is? Is there a better way to feel more rested and more productive? Well, the consensus points to a totally different strategy.
And this is really the fundamental shift in thinking. The goal isn't about the quantity of sleep you get, it's about the quality. It's not about trying to hack the clock, it's about optimizing the rest you're already getting.
So, how do you actually do that? Well, it's about building your own personalized sleep strategy. Step 1, figure out your goals. What are you actually trying to fix? Are you tired all the time? Do you wake up a lot? Step 2, you have to understand that your needs are totally unique. There's no one-size-fits-all answer here. And finally, step 3, find a way to monitor your patterns. Use a journal, use an app,
whatever, so you can see what's actually working for you.
So we kind of end up back where we started, but with a completely new question. That dream of a 2-hour sleep night is powerful, for sure, but maybe the real hack isn't about conquering sleep at all. Maybe it's about finally learning to embrace it. So instead of asking, how little can I get by on, maybe the most productive question we can ask is, how well can I truly rest?